Well, good morning, kids. Pastor Al here. Thanks for joining me today. And I gotta tell you, it's a little bit of a sad day for me. This is almost certainly going to be the last children's sermon that I'm going to record and post on the internet. It's been fun to do this for this last 4 years. We started during COVID. If you'd still like to hear a children's sermon, and I hope you will, the way to do it's the old-fashioned way. Come to church on Sunday at the 9 a.m. service, and our new pastor, Daniel Triller, who's got little kids of his own, knows all about kids and talking to them, will give you a great children's sermon every Sunday morning. And I think that's really cool. Now, if you just desperately have to watch one online, I think I probably posted like 200 by now or something like that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can just look over to the right on your screen. You'll see the listing for Ellensburg Presbyterian Church videos and sermons. Go over there and you can just scroll down and find all sorts of stuff that I've done before and you have almost certainly forgotten about. It'll be like it's new. So I want to go out today by talking about two things that I almost always talk about. And that's, of course, talking about God, but also talking about dogs. I've had a lot of dogs in my life. I'm not even sure how to count them up. 12, 13, 14 have been there. You can see this one picture here. I think this was our high water mark for any one time. We had 6 dogs in our house. It was actually like way too many. If you were to ask me what my favorite dog was, it would be a really hard question. Because with the exception of the Beagles, I loved every one of them. But it might just be by a whisker's hair, this guy here. His name was Elijah. We mostly called him Eli. He was a blonde Labrador. I got him just a few years after I came here. And he was just the perfect lab. Like a lot of labs, he absolutely loved to chase tennis balls. And he could chase tennis balls for almost 45 minutes before he got too tired to do anymore. Let me show you. Well, of course, like all dogs, Eli got old. He got to the point where he would, instead of chasing the tennis ball for 45 minutes, go and get it, bring it back maybe once, and then the next time he would bring it back halfway and just lay down, drop it out of his mouth. In fact, he loved water, he loved to swim, and there are times we went to a lake and I'd throw a tennis ball and he'd swim out and get it, and I wanted him, when he was older, to do it one more time, but he wasn't very healthy. And I was afraid to have him go out in the water and maybe not be able to swim. And one fun fact about me is I don't know how to swim. I know I couldn't go out and save him. So I took him to a swimming pool for dogs over in Seattle so we could have one more swim and fetch the ball time together. And I'm just, he's a great swimmer. He loves the water. Yeah. I'm just afraid to let him go into a cold big lake now. Because if he swims out and he has a problem, then I can't save him. Right. And he loves to swim, so I thought it's something I still remember. Now, let me tell you, he was one of my best buddies. And I have a great Labrador now, who's my new best buddy. I've always told people there's only one thing that a dog has that I consider a fault, and that's that they don't live long enough. I told you I've had, over a dozen dogs in my life. Because you get a dog and you raise him and you love him and he's part of your life and they're with you for maybe 10, 12, 13. I think we had one one beagle that lived till he was like 16, and that was ironic because it was the only dog I ever owned I didn't like. But, you know, you lose a dog. They're not with you forever. And the only way you could ever have a dog that you love and care for and loves you and has fun with you back is to realize that they're not permanent and that probably at some point they're going to leave you. That's the way life goes. I hate to tell you, you know, most everything we have in life is a lot more temporary than we think it is. And I've discovered over the life that I'd much rather have a dog in my life, even if I know it's not forever, than not have dogs at all. And just realized that when I lose one dog, I tended to go out and get another one. In fact, after I lost Eli, I think I waited a whole 12 days before I started looking for a new lab puppy. And my new lab's turned out to be pretty good. Hezekiah is a good dog. Not as good a dog as Eli was in some ways, but maybe better in others. It's always different. You kids who go to my church, Ellensburg Presbyterian, know that after almost 25 years here, I'm going to be retiring. You're getting a very wonderful, cool new pastor. His name is Daniel Triller. And I think you're going to like him a lot. You're going to love him. But it means I got to leave. And I suspect some of you at least are going to miss me. I'm going to miss some of you. There'll probably be some things you like about him better than you liked about me. There can be things he did better. There might just be some things you don't. But that's the whole part of life is, well, there's change. And things come and things go. And you learn that every time there's change, there's some things that are wonderful and cool and good, and things that you don't like. But that's a part of growing up in this world too. Now, there's an even more wonderful story than the good things that come into our life temporary, is that there's only one thing that we know for sure comes into our life and is not temporary, and that's the love of God. Because the love of God lasts not only through this life, but through a life to come. You see, this life, and we've talked about this before, is only just a little piece of the life that God has in store for you. There will come a day when you grow up and you grow old, and unless Jesus comes back before this, you are going to die. And if Jesus Christ is the Lord of your life, if you have done your best to follow him, if his love has settled into his heart and you have loved him back, guess what? This is not the end. You're going to be with him. You're going to be with the people of God through all eternity in a new heaven and a new earth. And that's going to be super cool. So I hope more than anything else that if these videos have taught you anything, is how important it is to make sure that all your life you love God back in the same way that he has loved you. Not just so that your life will be good now, although there's a lot of good to following God, but because you'll be able to love him and he'll love you on into all eternity. And that's pretty amazing. And you know what I kind of hope? I hope maybe if I'm lucky enough to get there, maybe there'll be some dogs there. The great church scholar Martin Luther said he thought there'd be dogs in heaven. If you ever read the Chronicles of Narnia in the last book, not all the people make it into heaven. And frankly, none of the cats make it into heaven. But all the dogs do. We'll see. It'll be super cool to be with Jesus. It'll be wonderful to be with the other people we know who love and serve God. And we get to do it forever. We don't have to have loss anymore. So kids, again, thank you for all of the years that we have been together. And we may see each other around Ellensburg. But I pray more than anything else that you will take what we've talked about to heart, that you will find the love of God in your heart, that you will know that Jesus has loved you enough to die for you on the cross so that you could be with him forever, and that you will follow him all your life. If you can do that, that will mean everything that I have ever done is well worth the time. Praise be to God. Thanks, everybody. Love you. Bye.